on flying around the world this Christmas. He's got some serious competition from the Environment Minister, except for the minister doesn't fly a sleigh. He flies on a private jet. From Beijing to Dubai, he burns fuel and taxpayer dollars just to rub elbows with dictators and pop stars. He emits more carbon in one flight than most Canadians do in a whole year, while telling Canadians to pay more carbon taxes. The more he flies around, the higher the tax goes. So will he park the hypocrisy and finally axe the tax
Minister of Environment.
I was in Dubai at COP28 in good company, Mr. Speaker, with the Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, with the Premier of Saskatchewan, Scott Moe, with representatives from almost all the Canadian provinces and business leaders from all across the country, Mr. Speaker, working to ensure that our kids and grandkids have a future, something, unfortunately, that the Conservatives fail to understand.
The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, this is more high-flying, high-cost, high-tax hypocrisy from the Minister of Carbon Taxes. We learned that he spent $150,000 on one weekend of travel and charged it to taxpayers. Isn't it interesting that that's exactly how much they're charging the Carleton Mushroom Farm in carbon taxes for a year? So, can the Minister please tell us, the Carleton Mushroom Farms is going to spend this year now about $150,000 grand on carbon taxes. Will that just pay for one of his junkets?
Unlike that minister, I actually spoke to farmers from Dufferin today, and one farmer from Burnett Farms is going to pay $40,000 in carbon taxes this year alone. And after this incompetent Liberal NDP government quadruples the tax, it will be $160,000. They don't need another government program. They need the carbon tax cut. So, how is this farmer supposed to pay for it? Cut production, or so they have to import food from foreign polluting farms.
The Honourable Minister of Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What many Canadians are puzzled with is the fact that in the age of climate change, where the impacts of climate change are costing our farmers hundreds of millions of dollars every year, the Conservatives have nothing to say to them. No plans to support them in the transition that will be necessary, Mr. Speaker, to be in the 21st century, to continue being a provider of food for Canada and the world. The Conservatives have no plan to help our farmers, no plan to fight climate change, and no plan to support the future of our kids and grandkids.
The Honourable Member for Dufferin-Caledon.
With that statement, this radical carbon tax-loving environment minister has basically proven the point. His carbon tax hasn't stopped any of the effects on farms, but instead, farmers are left paying this punishing carbon tax. A chicken farm pays $15,000 for one barn this year in carbon tax. And after this ideologically obsessed minister quadruples the carbon tax, it'll be $60,000 for one chicken farm. What is this farmer supposed to do to pay it? Raise prices or force Canadians to import their food from polluting foreign farms?